today I wanted to talk about a topic that I have spent a lot of time thinking about, and when I was especially starting out in acting, it was something that really stressed me out. And I think there's a lot of people who have been in this industry for years, and learning lines doesn't faze them at all, and they're really used to it. But it's something that at points has really freaked me out, stressed me out. Freaked me out's maybe a bit of a strong term, but you know what I mean. Recently, I think I've had a lot of revelations, I've learned a lot of new things, and I've found things that have really helped me. And I used to spend ages filming my tapes, but now sometimes it can only be like 1 or 2 takes, and then I'm done. And I think it's more helpful sometimes to hear these kind of tips and advice from someone who's actually struggled rather than someone who's been fine with it for ages. And if you want to hear more from me as I move through the industry and share advice, my experiences, then please do subscribe and let's chat about line learning. So the first thing I think that it took me a while to realise is that it's very possible to learn lines. Like, people can end up with big scenes that they have to learn the night before they go on set, and people do it. Loads of people do it. Loads of different types of people with different learning styles all learn lines. Like, it's possible. It's very possible. And I think sometimes you can get in your head and be like, oh, I can't do it. And the narratives that we tell ourselves about what we're good at and what we're not good at are so powerful, I think. So I think it's just, don't stop telling yourself that you're bad at learning lines. Like, stop it. Because I have been that person and it doesn't help. I think also you can sometimes want like a shortcut, like how can I learn lines faster? Sometimes you've just got to put the work in, I think. Like, I just spend a lot of time on my lines. Sometimes that's not like a good thing to think you need that much time, but I think sometimes to feel secure on the lines you just have to put the work in. And I like to like pace my kitchen and say the lines over and over again, and say them in like, not like acting them out all the time because then the acting will go stale, but get used to putting feeling behind the lines, because I think quite often you can get used to just learning it monotone and just like thinking about the lines. But like, I think it's good to say it out loud, and it's good to say it out loud acting it as well, because I think quite often you can throw yourself off by suddenly you're acting the lines and then you're thinking about the emotion and you get lost in that, and then suddenly you're like, what line is it? And that might not work for you. All of this might not work for you because we're all different, but that's what's helped me, because otherwise I used to get like so caught up in the emotion if I had to be like really in love with someone, and I'd be like looking into their eyes or something, or like imagining looking into their eyes, and then I'd be like, what is the line? So I think it's good to get used to feeling the emotion with the lines. I think this next thing is something I've done quite early on, to be fair, but I think sometimes you can like get caught up in, oh, I have to learn a big piece of text, but that big piece of text is a character going on a journey and talking, and it's good to think about the story behind it. And once you have a good understanding of the journey of the text, it makes it easier. If you think this person gets like really angry and has a really angry outburst, and then maybe they go back into themselves and they start questioning things, and then they start to get a bit upset maybe. So remembering the different sections that the text has can help you, so it's not just one big bit of text. And also noticing patterns as well, because I've looked at pieces and been like, oh, like this start of this sentence is the same start of the sentence as a sentence like a couple of lines down, and that helps you understand the character's pattern of speaking. And with actually learning them, when you first have the text, what I like to do now is I like to look down briefly, think about like the words, and then look up and say it, because I think getting used to just saying it over and over again, and also like looking down and then looking up so you're not looking at the text the whole time when you start learning it, is really good. I think that's kind of like basic. Probably a lot of people do that, but that's something that I like to do. Also, in a recent interview I did with Jordan from Rendered Retina, what really helped me from that was understanding that there's like a pattern of like speech and there's a rhythm to it, and getting used to just saying it and feeling the rhythm and like not overthinking it, but just letting the lines roll off and like letting yourself just say them. Because I find when I'm reading for other people for their self-tapes, I'm so relaxed that I start to learn the lines myself and I start to get used to the script. And I think that's so important, and that's really made me realise that like you're just getting in the way of yourself when you get stressed about learning lines. So I learned to just really relax and trust the process, because I think being tense doesn't help. So I just try to really relax, and if I mess up, I say I do know the lines, I do know the lines, and I go through them potentially and be like, and just say them really fast, and then I'm like, yeah, it's there, it is there. And I don't let one mistake throw me off, because I think that's something that really just makes line learning a lot harder, is you telling yourself because you've made one mistake that means that they're not there, but they are there in your mind. Trust the process. Because I think also, like, when you're learning the lines and you're relaxed, then you just kind of like start saying it, and you're not like, oh no, what word is it here? You just say it, and then you realize that you're actually learning them a lot faster than you were before. And I think it's good to understand how you learn things. Like, I feel like I really learn stuff by like saying it out loud and like hearing stuff out loud. I don't learn through looking at it on the page. Maybe you learn it by like looking on the page and thinking this is here on the page and visualizing that. I'm not a very visual person. I'm more of a like say it out loud kind of like makes me sound really loud and annoying, but like I'm more like say it out loud and then I remember it, and I learn through like hearing myself say it. Line learning is something that as actors we will be doing for our entire career, and even if it stresses you out now, the thing is it's a skill, and there's no way that it's going to be this difficult forever, because it's a skill and you will get better at it, and everyone gets better at it the more they do it. Also, if anyone has any advice, please let me know, because I think although I've got better at it, we can always get even better, and I'm kind of scared that I'm gonna put this out and then I'm gonna start messing up all the time, and people will work with me in the future and be like, why are you doing a video on learning lines? I think like it's just good to talk about it, because it's something that really worries a lot of people, and it's something that we can all do. If anyone wants to chat about it in the comments, then please let me know. And I'm not saying that I'm the expert of learning lines, I'm just saying I think I've got a tiny bit better recently, and it's just something that I'm trying to think about how I do it and like reflect on my own methods and how I want to do things in the future. So I hope it's helped someone out. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!